It's been a year since they announced their partnership, and today finally Starbucks has launched its first coffee shop here in Mumbai. And joining me to talk about all of this and more is Mr. Krishna Kumar and the global CEO of Starbucks, Mr. Howard Schultz. Sir, I want to begin by asking you, why did it take you so long, and why do you think today is the right day to launch, or rather this is the right time to launch?
It took us so long because we had not yet met the Tata Group. Once we met Tata, Mr. Krishna Kumar and Mr. Ratan Tata, we knew immediately we were in the right hands. It's never too late to come to India. It's an emerging market, and especially for coffee, we believe that over time this will be one of the most dynamic and largest markets in the world for Starbucks.
But do you think the time is right, because you've come at a time when growth has possibly slipped from 9% down to about 5.5%? Do you think this is the right time to come in?
We do, because the coffee market is still very robust. The unaided awareness of Starbucks in this market is one of the largest in the world. Thousands of customers from this market have experienced Starbucks in other places. We've built a fantastic flagship store unto like nothing else we've ever done in the world. We think this is the perfect time.
You know, I know you're not going to talk about your expansion plans and the number of stores and so on. So let me frame that question differently. Where do you see Starbucks in India, say a year down the line, or 2 years down the line, or maybe 5 years down the line? Put that to you first and then to him.
Well, we'd like to be part of the everyday life of the people in India, and in doing so, build the kind of company and number of stores that is highly respected and valued by the customer. But we also realize we have to earn the respect of the local consumer. We'll open up stores in major cities, and after that we'll see. But over time, we hope to be throughout the country.
Do you see yourself in a leadership position?
Yes, in superior experience, yes, I think so.
Are you so wary of sort of giving out numbers at this point, possibly because you're testing the market, you're just sort of not sure how this is going to do at this point?
I think we need to be very acutely conscious of the size of the Indian opportunity. It's vast. The only reason why specific numbers are not being mentioned is because we need to do our homework very carefully, which we will do in the next couple of months. We're opening 3 stores now, and then a few more in Delhi and so on. We have better fix on what the opportunity is.
Okay, I want to come to the price point, because that was something that surprised me. The general perception was that this is going to be a very premium brand, but you've been quite conservative with the pricing. Is that in some sense keeping with the price-sensitive nature of the Indian consumer?
I think we wanted to be very thoughtful in creating a pricing strategy that would be broad enough to and accessible to all types of people within the country. Starbucks in many countries has entered the market like this, and it's proven to be a very successful formula. I think in doing so, we will create thousands of customers who perhaps would have had the perception that we were overpriced, and the fact is we're going to provide great value.
But given the offering that you have over here, and it's a spectacular store, what does that do to your margins? Because you're pretty much priced, say, like a barista or a coffee dealer, probably a little more premium than that. So what does that mean for the margins of your Indian business?
Well, as a public company, we've established great shareholder value over the years. Our stock price has been up about 5,000% over the years since we've been a public company. You can trust that we've done our homework. We've priced effectively for the customer, and we will be able to build a profitable business here.
All right. So I want to ask you, you have a partnership that essentially goes down to sourcing of the coffee bean from Tata Coffee. But beyond that, what do you think are the other synergies that you share with Starbucks, or rather you'd hope to share with Starbucks in the course of this partnership?
I believe that someday it will extend to more superior varieties of tea, and certainly some of the other products that Tata Global Beverages has in its portfolio, products like Himalayan and so on, will then become perhaps hopefully globally available through the Starbucks network.
I think it's too probably early to ask this question, but would you at any point look at going solo? Because you've had the FDI rules in India changing for the better for people like you. You've recently had a tweaking done in the 100% single brand retail norms. Why would it make sense to continue with a partner like the Tatas?
I think this is a highly complicated market, as you probably know. Irregardless of the change in the law, if we were making a decision today, we'd make it the same way. When you have an opportunity to be in partnership with one of the great companies, not only of India, but around the world, we feel so proud and privileged to be in business with Tata.
Is that why you think many of your global peers, I mean, you've had Costa Coffee coming in, you've had Gloria Jeans, you've had Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, they really haven't been able to make a dent. I mean, they have a presence, but you still have a monopoly of coffee day and barista. How do you think you'd be able to break that?
Well, I think at the end of the day, we've never defined being the leader in a market by the number of stores. It's really the reputation, the quality, and the loyalty of your customers. With Tata's help, we'll be able to get access to great real estate, their understanding of the local consumer, especially when it comes to food, the infrastructure issues. We have a competitive advantage, not the least of which is the reputation of the Starbucks brand. And everything we do will come up to the quality of the cup and our people's ability to exceed the expectations of our customers.
What is in this for the Tatas? How do you see, maybe some of your brands? You've spoken about Himalayas, but how do you see some of your other brands probably being leveraged through this partnership, not just in India but outside as well?
I think we need to recognize that Tatas have also moved quite strongly into the retail business. Got many formats. The recent one is Chroma, and therefore we believe that there is some degree of opportunity in penetrating rural markets, second level towns and so on, with retail products, and certainly Starbucks would be a premium offering in those categories. So we're working together on that opportunity.
When you look at the Indian market, what is it that you've done differently? Have you customized certain products or certain offerings so that they're in tune with the Indian palate?
All the food, I think, has been customized for the Indian palate, working side by side with Tata, and there's an example of how they're helping us. But also, I think what's really unique, this is the first time in our history that we're sourcing and roasting coffee locally in the market that we're opening up a store. And that also, I think, will play very nicely in demonstrating our respect for the local market and the local customer. And I think over time, there's a bigger opportunity to bring that coffee to the rest of the world and really build a brand for the coffee coming from India.
You've emerged as quite a big player in China. What are some of the learnings from there that you could possibly adopt, or rather that you could possibly take from there and use them over here?
Well, China's a very different market. The size is maybe the same, but we've been in China for 13 years. We had to educate the market there, where here the market, I think, is very well established. I would also say that you have to have the local team, the local managers, who are deeply embedded into the local community, and we have that with the Tata partnership. Many similarities, but many differences. The major similarity is you can't assume success, you have to earn it, and that's what we hope to do here in India.
So one more question. So do you see your foray into India in some sense offsetting the slowdown that we've seen across the globe, and do you look at this as an opportunity to sort of make inroads into a billion-plus market?
Well, we're not slowing down as a company on a parallel.
You've had problems in Europe, in the UK, and so on.
We have, but Starbucks is having another significant year. But we do recognize this is a major, major opportunity to build a very big business. And having Tata as our partner doesn't hurt.
All right, so I just have to ask you one more question, and it's completely unrelated, but it's about your announcement yesterday. This is the third time. Are you hoping that it's your third time lucky? And what's this insistence with Orient Express?
I think the first two times when we talked and sought a partnership, we had not put a specific price on the table. This time we have. And so now it's up to the board of that company. This is not a hostile move. This is what we believe is in the interest of that company, what is in the best interest of the Taj in the longer time frame. It might look very, very challenging in the short term, but I think these kind of decisions have to be taken on a strategic scale, and combining these two businesses and bringing an entirely new experience in the world is what our objective is.
There's been a lot of concern raised in the market, especially because of the debt levels on both your books and on their books. Also, there is a general sense that you're willing to pay a premium. How do you respond to that?
I think it's the uniqueness of financing package that we put together, and it will become clearer as the board responds to us in specific form. I don't think that company nor the Taj is over leveraged. That certainly their normal working capital is about $600 million, and that's where their debt is, which I think is entirely serviceable from their cash flows. And the Taj has not failed in its duty anytime. You might find sudden expansion of that kind challenging, but it's all about meeting challenges.
In the event this deal does go through, what do you see it adding to the Taj Hotels, given that we've seen a huge slowdown in the hospitality business across the world, not just in India?
I think when we looked at Orient Express's business pattern, they are the top end, the luxury segment. And generally, luxury segments have been not showing the kind of decline. And that's their business has been quite successful. They've grown around 2 or 3% even last year. So what we are doing is they're separate companies today, servicing complementary markets. I think we can integrate many of those approaches together, be it on sales and marketing, on sourcing and so on, and working together in a manner that will bring great new value to the proposition.
All right. Last question, I don't want to probe you too much, but given the sort of rebuffs and the unpleasantness in the past, given that they've sort of tried to stave off this offer from you, what makes you think that it could be a successful partnership?
I think it's a very good, compelling value that they put on the table.
All right, Mr. Krishna Kumar and Mr. Schultz, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.